Hi guys, my name's Connor. I'm a science fiction, political, and philosophy nerd, Marine Corps and law enforcement veteran, never Trump Republican, and Steven's close associate. We might even call us friends sometimes. I don't know. I'll let him decide what our relationship is. Anyways, we're here, not doing anything else, but doing something else. So, how are you, Stevie?
I'm chilling.
All right, well, the past 2 weeks have been a little crazy, wouldn't you say?
They sure have been, Connor.
Excellent. So, one of the things that was brought to my attention recently by some drama folks was that I think around 2 years ago, I took issue with the streamer Chud Logic. And the reason why I took issue with him was because Queeman and he were watching and speaking with, and in my opinion, normalizing another streamer named Food Shops, who is an unrepentant lolicon. It's been brought to my attention that you have been raiding Food Shops recently.
And by lolicon, we mean lolicon enjoyer.
Yes, they enjoy that content.
Okay. It's kind of weird.
It is super weird. So I guess my question is, why?
I don't know, probably because it reminds them of little anime children or something.
My question is, why are you raiding them?
Because they're my strongest soldier.
Okay,
And
to
an
what
imperfect
end?
ally.
In what war?
In the war against evil.
And
AKA
what is this definitional evil?
the leftists and the tankies.
She's fighting the leftists and the tankies right now.
By fighting Queeman and Dristicle, yes.
I thought Queeman and Justical were like drama, frog, A-log commentary people, not necessarily like super politically minded.
Yeah, but they're hanging on my nuts until my court case is done.
Okay. But so by what, dragging down the world's #1 liberal streamer, they're actually serving the interests of leftists?
I guess they kind of are. But that's
So-
like a
so-
byproduct. They just don't like me.
Okay, so Food Shops is the #1 liberal warrior right now?
Yes.
Okay, well, I feel...
Martin Luther King cheated on his wife with a 17-year-old white girl.
Okay, so...
I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Don't sue
so besides maligning the memory of the dead Martin Luther King, which is fine, so my beef is that this was my beef with Queeman, effectively A-logging her, watching her content all the time, her getting normalized in the space, and then it seemed like Chud Logic didn't have an instantaneous revulsion to the lack of apology, or excuse me, the apologia for Lolicon. My beef with Lolicon is that, as far as I know, it's drawn pornographic images of underage people. Yeah. And
We
so,
usually call those children, yeah.
children. And so, yeah, I find that repulsive, and I don't think that should be normalized. And I think the reason why it shouldn't be normalized is because you're reinforcing a connection within your own brain that is effectively like, some people use this defense of like, oh, it's just a drawing, it's just a drawing. But for me, it's like, it's not about the drawing, it's about what it's doing to you, the consumer.
Okay.
Okay.
There's two conversations.
Okay.
One is a debate about lolicon, and two is a debate about whether or not I should raid into food shops. Which one do you want to start with?
Can we start with Lolicon, please?
What's your favorite? I'm just kidding. I'm kind of indifferent towards it. Basically, I think that for most things you have to start kind of neutral, and then you figure out if something is good or bad from there. Like if somebody says like drinking soda, like I don't have an opinion, or consuming, Marvel movies, and then you go from there. When it comes to lolicon stuff, I guess the biggest concern is, are you normalizing like underage attraction such that people are going to start acting on it or performing it more in the world or something like that? My understanding is that doesn't happen. Like if it did, if that was like ever demonstrated, I'd probably feel significantly different about it. I don't even know how you would demonstrate that. But that would be my thing. I would just put it in the kink area, like all the other kind of bad things that people role play, like consent, non-consent.
What
kinks.
about on the individual level, though? And so I understand, like, okay, so you've already kind of said, if we could demonstrate this statistically, then you would be against it for the harm that it's causing within the world. However,
maybe, yeah.
I think that a lot of people use the lack of evidence or statistics around this thing because I think it would probably be difficult to study or difficult to prove as an excuse to engage in it. But for me, the way that I understand the human brain, which is a lay understanding of the human brain, effectively, like, what you think is kind of like what you become.
Well, I think you have to be careful of that, remember, because when we were growing up, our good friend Jack Thompson and other people used that argument to try to go after like video games and shit, right? Like if you play too many
Sure.
violent video games, you become a violent person and all that.
Well, which isn't true, but that's because video games become, in my opinion, part of the reason why video games haven't correlated with an increase in violence is because they've been an outlet for violence.
Yeah, but you see how a lolly lover would say the same thing, right?
Yeah, but wouldn't we also say that that was potentially something super fucked up? Like a fucked up, because there is righteous violence. I don't think there's
video game
righteous.
violence is probably not righteous violence, right?
What's that?
Video game violence is probably not righteous violence.
Not
so-
all the time, but I think that's the why people discuss perversion. So for instance, like if you're playing a video game where you're serving in the military and you go overseas and you kill people or whatever, some people might view that as perverse violence, but other people would perceive that as righteous violence. Whereas with like Grand Theft Auto, where you're just like beating up a hooker in order to steal her cash and then running her over with a car repeatedly or whatever, they would view that as perverse violence.
Okay.
And so, since there's no such thing as like righteous lolicon or righteous lolicon, wouldn't it just all be perverse by
I guess
definition?
that's like a fundamentally different question. By those questions, so people say like all pornography is perverse or something, right?
I mean, it can be, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but that's obviously I'm not going to agree with that.
Okay, but what would be the
And perversity or perversion isn't enough for me to take a strong moral stance against something. Although pervert is kind of like morally loaded. I'm looking more probably at harm, especially from a secular viewpoint, rather than any kind of like morally perverted thing, you know?
Okay, so we're not going to agree on like maybe the you would be looking for more consequential harm in order to like
Or just harm, yeah. Like if people were jerking into lolicon and they started jerking into child porn and then they started doing other, well, even just from lolly to child porn, that'd probably be enough to be like, it's probably not good, yeah.
Well, and then I guess that's my question, because obviously with like underage stuff or whatever, there's like categories, and so for instance, like
Jesus.
no, I'm serious, because this
Like
is
recess, lunch break.
no, dickhead. No, I'm saying like, for instance, what kind of skeeved me out is Food Chops like posted a joke, and I hope it's a joke, effectively where she was saying like, oh, well, we're gonna, now that I'm getting raided into and I have DGG's attention, I'm actually gonna unveil my master plan, which is to normalize lolicon, which unironically is why I argued against her being normalized in the space 2 years ago. So for me, it's like the category that I'm talking about is like somebody posted pictures of effectively like a dozen kids who had no secondary sex characteristics. They weren't post-pubescent. They weren't pubescent. They were prepubescent. And they were like, we are Legion. And like 9 people liked that comment. If I could find those 9 people and put them into effectively like gay conversion therapy against lolicon, I would.
Or would converting them to gays help?
No, I would put
know
them
what you
into
mean. I
to
got it.
get them to, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So how do you feel about people consuming drawings of prepubescent kids in a pornographic way?
Morally, I just don't. I don't have a stance on it.
Okay, so this is something that we just fundamentally disagree upon, because like for me, it should be like almost like immediately like fuck that.
Okay.
Like why would you even play with fire in that regards?
Sure.
Or
But I would say at that point, even you morally don't
necessarily
necessarily care about it that much if it's connecting it to other stuff. If the other stuff connection was real, then I'd probably have a much bigger problem with it, yeah.
Okay.
But in terms of like drawings, like if I were to lock myself in a room and draw like a stick figure and then label it as 12 years old and then come on it, like, I don't think this is...
What about what it does to you? So, okay. So you're saying that I can't prove the category, or I can't prove the category of like the harm it does or whatever. However, what do you think that does to your brain? The fact, like, let's say that you did that not once, but you did it like 1,000 times or 10,000 times.
I have no idea.
Or you argued that it was socially normal.
Like, I've murdered so many people in so many clever and creative ways in video games, or watched videos of it, and I've like barely murdered 2 or 3 people in real life. So,
Hey, so
it seems like it's not carrying over as much.
right.
But maybe there might be some stuff that carries over in surprising ways. I just don't know. I've never seen that like link shown before. But if the link was demonstrated, then I would probably be a lot less okay with it. But not necessarily because of the thing itself, but more because it would be connected to things that would actually, I think, cause material harms.
Okay, then I'm going to express a frustration, and then
Good.
I think we can move to the her being your strongest soldier part. So my frustration is, and maybe this is my conservative instincts, is just that there are things that we shouldn't entertain. And for me, this is one of them, where it's just like drawn, real, doesn't matter. It's a dark, fucked up, shitty part of the human brain to, and probably a paraphilia, to look at prepubescent or pubescent children and like, I don't know, entertain a sexual attraction to them. And so for me, whatever that part of is humanity or whatever, we should effectively like carve it out. We should lance it out. It's a fucking cancer and throw it into the fucking void of space. Now, that being said, the second part, or the part that we were going to transition to, is can you use a bad person for I don't know, like a gamified purpose?
Sure. Wait, am I allowed to give my final thoughts on the thing?
Please.
I think that people explore a lot of weird, perverted kinks sexually.
Should they be encouraged to?
No, but I'm not trying to talk about encouraging anything. We're talking about subsidized lolicon or some shit. Jesus, I'm not making a fucking studio drawing it or anything. Damn.
Okay, so
I'm just saying that there are perversions that people explore sexually through pornography or role play or whatever else. Whether it's like race play, age play, consent, non-consent, fucking whatever other crazy shit people do, way crazier shit. If people want to do that sexually, I don't know if I'm convinced that there's like a reason to make a law against it. If there was some kind of perversion that it was like people could demonstrate like this is actually leading to like people doing fucked up shit in the real world, then I'd be like, oh, that's probably not okay. But I don't know how I would draw the line, especially just between like lolicon versus say like furry con or furry porn or whatever, right?
Okay.
Because bestiality is not good, right?
You're right, and that's actually where I was going to go. Is like this is like the quintessential difference in my opinion versus like liberal, where you want maximum human liberty as long as you can't articulate a consequence between people. Where I feel like we can make instinctive judgments about like what's good or bad based off of probably some level of moral intuition that isn't articulable,
Sure.
but also off of like repulsion, disgust, or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I feel like that same argument is used to like go after gay people and shit.
Okay, well, this is something that Max Carson pointed out to me. My homophobia, he was like, oh, you're homophobic.
Are you homophobic?
A little bit, but
Fuck.
you know,
Okay.
just
I'm only
like
a little bit homo, so we're good.
right. So just the normal amount of homophobia.
Okay.
But what he pointed out to me is like, well, it wasn't necessarily the homophobia that I was criticizing. It was promiscuity. And so there's people who are promiscuous, who are straight, who are engaged in the same, thing that I'm criticizing. So if I'm criticizing it for homosexual men, then shouldn't I be criticizing it for straight people? And the truth is, yeah. So that like that inkling or that like that judgment, it was regarded to promiscuity, not specifically homosexuality.
Okay.
Right. So the point is that like you can still have judgments like, and by the way, like I don't want the state. I think that you've been known as a promiscuous person in the past. I don't want the state to come in and like arrest you for being promiscuous. Like we live in a free society. Mm-hmm. However, I do think that
I thought we did. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. Keep going.
As your friend,
yeah.
I would say, hey man, like number one, that's not how I'm going to live my life. But number two, like you're probably going to reap social consequences for promiscuity, and I think to some degree you have.
Wait, are we off the lolicon topic now?
No, we should keep going with the lolicon because the same thing with the lolicon.
Wait, how do you feel about like furry porn? Should that be banned?
I think that like explicit bestiality porn should probably be banned. I don't know about anthropomorphic creatures having sex with each other. If they're drawn as adults, I guess. I don't know. I don't fucking know, bro.
Okay, so no lolicon furry porn.
No lolicon furry porn. As a matter of fact, hold on. This is actually where this was a question I was going to ask. If there was, let's say that we could just understand that there was like age categories 0 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 plus or something like that. And there was like pedophile, pubescent pedophile, and a phobophilic. Okay, listen, bro. You're the one who's fucking rating a lolicon. We got to fucking go into the details. So 0 to 10, lolicon.
Felony. Then 10 to 15
that's what I was going to
misdemeanor.
ask. I was going to ask, would you ban 0 to 10 if you could know?
For drawing stuff? I don't think I would ban any drawings. No.
You wouldn't ban drawings?
I don't think I would ban drawings.
Would you, if you had a friend who was routinely consuming that content, would you culturally pressure them to stop? Would you say, hey, bro? Would you say, hey, bro?
That's kind of weird, bro.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Weird, bro.
Would you say, hey, bro, that's pretty fucked up? I wouldn't be doing that if I were you.
Probably. I don't know like how that would come up, but if it did, I would be like, yeah, that's kind of weird, bro.
So if you had a lolicon friend, you would encourage them to stop, especially if it was that age bracket.
Yeah, I guess that'd be a weird conversation, though.
Well, listen, we're in weird times right now. So okay.
I mean, I don't know what you jerk off to. You might jerk off to. I don't know.
Okay.
So I would be able to encourage you to stop.
If you found out that I was doing stuff that
how would
was
I find that out?
I don't know. We get drunk, have a conversation.
What kind of drunk combos are you having?
I have all sorts of cool drunk conversations, mostly not about this topic.
Okay, so you're like 5 shots in, you're like, bro, 0 to 10.
Whoo!
woo. That's my my shit.
But that's what I'm saying. There's fucking people like in the community who probably do talk like that.
Okay.
So
I feel like that would be a weird thing. I probably would.
Okay, but you're saying that if the conversation came up and it was weird, you're saying that statistically this conversation is not likely to happen, therefore I haven't really thought about it. But what I'm asking you is if you have a friend, and I'm pretty sure like friend is described as somebody with whom you share mutual affection or respect.
Sure.
Right?
But like I have no idea. I've known Dan for 15 years. I don't have any idea what kind of porn he jerks off, except for Gal Gadot.
Okay. So if
Go ahead.
if Dan came to you and he says,
Let's use a different example.
Okay. Somebody similar to Dan.
Another Jew. Yeah, BB.
Another Jewish guy.
Okay, BB Netanyahu DMs me again.
Ethan Klein and you are best friends.
Not.
And Ethan Klein says...
Can we not do the edgiest examples?
Okay. There's somebody in your life who you care about.
Okay.
Who expresses that you guys get drunk, you're talking shit, whatever, and he expresses like a paraphilic thing. And it doesn't have to specifically be lolicon. Are you going to encourage that person out of that like paraphilic desire?
Probably. I'd probably just say, oh, that's kind of weird. I don't think I'm not about to like 12-step this guy off of his lolicon. Like,
okay, that's a fundamental difference between you and me.
Tell me what that would look like. Talk me through that. Yeah, what would that look like? So a friend is drinking with you, and he's like, I gotta tell you, man.
Let's say it was Food Chops. Let's say Food Chops was right here.
Food Chops is drinking with you, and they're like, I gotta tell you, man, I found this fucking 9-year-old shit, and it's fucking wild, okay?
Yeah, and I'd be like, you're a fucking freak. You need to stop doing that shit. It's bad for your brain. It's bad for your soul. Please, for the love of God, fucking stop.
Okay, I'll think about it. And then I'm probably never gonna bring that up to you again.
Okay, you'll think about bringing up that cultural pressure with another person?
No, I'm saying, what if they would just say that? They'd be like, okay, I'll keep that in mind, but then they just wouldn't tell you again. Are you gonna like follow up?
That'd be fucking great. Keep that shit to yourself. Take that to the fucking grave, you fucking freak.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, it'd probably be the same, I imagine. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, then I assume that can we just go ahead and drop...
Wait. So how do we feel about the furry porn?
I think didn't we say that if it's adult anthropomorphic furries, then we don't really care as much?
Okay. What if you have sex with adult animals? Is that okay?
No, it's not. And I would say if it's specifically bestiality porn, I would have the same reaction. I would be like, gross. What the fuck?
Okay. So pretend that this. Okay. This is a dog, front legs, back legs. Now I want you to tell me.
I don't want to picture this.
So this is furry porn. Tell me how close you have to be until it's not okay, until it's bestiality.
What between? Wait.
Now it's a dog. Look, dog. Standing, anthropomorphized. Furry.
Okay, yeah. I got you. Let me tell you. Keep going slower. Stop. No. It was like there. Keep going.
So they had to be kind of upright.
Dude. If there's okay, here's dog. Here's human. I would literally draw a 45-degree angle, and then 45-degree angle above that is like, you're a fucking freak and you should stop. And then 45-degree under that,
okay.
I'm like,
but if they're fully anthropomorphized furry, you're okay with it?
If what?
Fully anthropomorphized furry porn. So like they're human but furry porn. You're okay with that?
I think in Twitch and YouTube politics, I have no choice but to work with people who enjoy that kind of thing.
Okay, and then do you adjust for obvious development timelines for animals? So for instance, like a 2-year-old, but anthropomorphized furry dog, that's an adult. Like half their life has been an adult. Because I think dogs are fully grown by 1 year, right? Basically. So like a 2-year-old dog is okay because that's like an adult, basically, right?
I hate that.
I'm just trying to make sure that we. I just want to know what kind of moral disgust I need to express the next time because I have a lot of furry porn.
Hopefully we're not when we're doing anthropomorphic pornography. But that's okay. To me, that sounds like some kind of like weird backdoor in order for.
Well, no, because it would clearly be like they would be
like, oh, they're actually 2,
but it would be like
they have adult characteristics.
It would be an adult, not adult characteristics. It would be an adult dog. Hold on, you've never seen a dog who's like 4, and you're like, wow, what a cute little puppy. Because somebody would look at you, are you retarded? It's a fully grown adult dog, and you say it's only 4. You're perverted. Right,
but are they gonna? Well, no, you're already fucking perverted because you're anthropomorphizing animals in order to imagine them sexually.
Have you ever seen Sesame Street?
Yeah.
Is Oscar the Grouch and the bird, is that perverted because they're anthropomorphized?
No, but they're not sexualized.
Okay, fine, but like, would you say Big Bird was an adult?
Yeah.
Okay, but the bird is not 40 years old. It would be dead.
Okay, I understand that, but except for freaks in Twitch and YouTube politics, nobody is, well, I guess
I'm just trying to understand. Baby Bop, you see Barney, BJ, and Baby Bop?
Yes.
BJ and Baby Bop, I think we're supposed to be, like, Baby Bop, I think was like...
I don't know the question that you're asking, though.
I doubt that Baby Bop... She was probably like a adolescent dinosaur, but that could be like 6 to 12 months. And by the time, and like Barney could be like a 4-year-old dinosaur, but he's like an adult. Obviously, he's Barney.
Okay, now I think that you've just confused me to the point that I don't know what you're arguing. What are you arguing?
Is a 2-year-old anthropomorphized furry porn dog okay to jerk off to because it's technically an adult?
No, just don't do that shit. At minimum, cultural pressure.
Okay.
At minimum, be like, hey, you're a fucking freak. Don't do that shit.
How do you feel about people who watch like gore videos and stuff? Should
I
that
think
be
that
like?
they're probably indulging a fucked up part of their brain.
So would you discourage that at the same level you discourage lolicon, or?
I think it like actually depends. Yeah, it depends on context, 100%. If there's like
Wait, you wouldn't say that for lolicon. Depends on context.
well, actually, weirdly enough, I would, because if there was a law enforcement officer who was investigating said
oh my
issue-
god.
No, I'm trying to be dead serious, because you basically said if anybody was watching gore
So
porn,
do you
would
support
encourage
sex
them
with
to-
minors?
No.
What if there was a law enforcement officer that had to fuck a 5-year-old to save the world?
Okay, I hate this. No. That's not what I'm doing.
You would let the whole world die.
That's not what I'm doing. So what I'm trying to say though is, yeah, all right, I'll try to turn down the autism, although I feel like I needed to turn it up real quick because you're already taking me down rabbit holes. So hold on. When it comes to, okay, civilian, watching gore, okay, I think that there's a time where like teenagers are growing up or whatever, and they're learning about death and they're learning about like violence and all that kind of stuff. And there's like a researching part where you're like understanding like physiology, psychology, all that kind of stuff. But I also think that parallel to that morbid curiosity that comes along with like teenagehood evolving into adulthood, there's also people who fall into the rabbit hole where they get like weirdly excited by it, and then as a result they just like watch it all the time. And so what I would
Watch
say
what?
is gore.
Oh, okay.
And so what I would say is that if you go from like a academic existential interest in gore into like an utter morbid fascination to the point that you're watching that for hours on end, then yeah, of course I would counsel against that, because I wouldn't view that as like a healthy development to constantly stare into the abyss of violence.
Okay. I think I feel similarly about that as like lolly stuff, I guess, yeah.
What, you can look at into the abyss every now and then, but as long as you don't get consumed by it, you're okay.
I would say that like people that probably mass consume it or whatever, it's probably not good for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, so for me, I'm saying that within this category, I think that this should never be accepted, and you're saying that you would view it to parallel.
I just don't care that much because I the actual harm, and the thing itself is not a thing that I care that. Wait, who was audio cut out? What did I do?
Hello, my name is Connor. Yeah. Happy to be here. Is it working now?
Oh my god! Oh no!
What? Is J-Stock tweeting at you?
Worse.
Ethan Klein's watching?
Even worse. Guess who's watching you?
Hassan.
Food shops.
Of course she is.
Of course.
Yeah. She hates me because I criticize her.
Damn. Okay, where were we? Oh, so yeah, I mean, like I think there are probably
parallel
certain
interest to
types
gore.
of kinks and fetishes that I think are a little bit extreme or red flaggy to me because I feel like it's probably not good. Personally, despite what some people say, I don't enjoy pedophilia that much or lolicon, so I don't understand
Good save.
the attraction.
Okay.
This content would be way too edgy, but I would be curious for a purely educational perspective to know if somebody enjoys lolicon, do they also enjoy pedophilia? That sounds really gross. I don't know how similar or different. I've never seen. I don't watch lolicon, so
No idea, and I'm sure it's
now
too
to be
taboo
clear,
for anybody to do research.
I haven't. Never mind.
You don't know?
I don't know 100% the age of any anime character I've watched porn of because I didn't idea any of them. But I'm just saying, my knowledge, I don't think anything I've seen is lolicon. But
Okay. So where we kind of landed though, as far as like at least a stated point, I think, is that I think you stated that you viewed it similar to gore, where if somebody dabbled and then got out of it, you wouldn't view that as like red flaggy or horrible, as if somebody's like staring into the abyss and allowing.
Maybe, but I think I was reaching. I don't think. I don't know if I would. I think it's different.
Well, okay. Would you culturally pressure somebody out of that, or legalistic prohibitions, or what?
I don't know. I should have to think a lot more about it. I don't know actually now.
Well,
Sorry,
and then with gore,
sexual stuff is different or weird because sexual stuff is stuff that you both fantasize about and enjoy simultaneously for the thing that it is, which actually makes it a lot more unique than other forms of enjoyment. So for instance, if I and another guy was playing D&D with like two women and we had a scene and we were like, we're going to kill your characters, and we killed them. It's like, even if we like enjoy killing their characters, there's some kind of separation there. We're not actually enacting violence against them, even if they're upset about it.
No,
but if
I
I
think
say we're going to roleplay a scene where we're going to rape both of your characters, it's going to get real graphic. It's weird because not only is the sexual thing happening there, it's also kind of happening outside of
like
it.
a magic.
So it's like so I don't know. So actually comparing gore consumption with like porn consumption, I think is a bit different because when you. Yeah, do you understand what I'm saying there? It's
No, I do understand what you're saying, and I also think that's another thing about violence as well, is that violence in some regards is like it undergirds our whole society, in that like if you do something fucked up, a cop could come arrest you, right? But it's also something that seems quite rare on like an interpersonal level, where most of the time you're not getting into fist fights or stabbings or shootings or whatever. That's what's that?
Maybe you're not.
So the point being that, like, when it comes to people's preoccupation with violence, which dominates popular media as well, I feel like it is, I don't know, maybe like less integral to a lot of people's identity, whereas like sex seems to be pretty integral to almost everybody's identity. Even the mere act of being asexual is oftentimes integral to somebody's identity.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why we hold it as more important.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not Lolly's strongest defender. There are some things edgy topics that I'll defend strongly. Like, I don't think we should give a fuck about like corpses. I'm not talking about necrophilia, but like I think people freak the fuck out about corpse stuff too much. So, and maybe I'd like die on that hill. But like I feel like for like lolicon, I might be persuaded to the other end of that. I just don't have that big of a care for it.
What, to be a defender or to be a critic?
To be like a huge critic of it. I just don't care that much about it. Yeah.
Okay. So.
So when I say I don't care, I mean I'm more neutral on it. But like I like some there. I mean maybe there are arguments for why. Yeah, it should be. Yeah.
Okay. So to be clear, my position is likely will be for the rest of my life that if you have a part of your brain that has some kind of paraphilic interest or weird violent interest, you don't feed that part of your brain. You starve it. And what I don't like about your perspective or Queeman's perspective, Chud never expressed this perspective. I just thought that he was being too nice to food shops and too nice to Queeman's community. Which, Chud Logic, apologies for being mean to you several years ago. But the point is that like I would never fucking feed that, and I would never feed that in my community, and I wouldn't tolerate it either. And so I feel like your attitude is too permissive.
I don't think you would agree with that statement, and I would have to think a lot about why because some of it we do feed, and some of it is healthy to feed.
Like what?
Like there's a huge conversation around like little boys.
I'm worried about this. Violence?
Yeah. So like for
G.I.
instance, like
Joes?
the idea, not necessarily that, but stuff like the importance of physicality in especially like young boys, young men's education. That like doing sports and being aggressive, like in football or soccer or basketball.
But I don't view that as negative. I view that as potentially virtuous.
Sure, but it's like a like if somebody goes out and is doing like a physically exhaustive competitive thing like against other young men, we wouldn't expect that to be like, oh, that guy was tackling him on the football field. When he comes to class tomorrow, he's gonna be ready to fight somebody. You know, we wouldn't hope that that would carry over. Like in some way, they're like exhausting the physicality and like draining that. Not that word.
But from a,
you know what I mean? They're like they're getting it out of their system.
No,
and I feel-
this
yeah.
no. This I actually like this.
Okay.
And with the parallel though, for me, they're like I believe in virtue and vice. I believe in I'm not a religious literalist, but I still value religion. I believe in virtue and sin, and so for me, like the nature of the violence that you're talking about, where it's competitive, it's sports. It's getting energy out. It's participating in what I would call positive masculinity. That is like a good thing that we should be
Sure.
incubating.
Let's not use.
But hold on. I was
yeah.
going to say, if there was a combat sport, because technically we're talking about all these virtues and vices.
Sure.
If you're in a combat sport, kind of like that Rampage Jackson's kid, and he thought that being badass was knocking some dude out who he was wrestling and then beating the fuck out of him while he was down. I would view that as vice, even though it's technically competitive combat,
Yeah, for sure.
physical
That would be bad.
exerting,
Yeah.
like all that kind of stuff. So how we do
But we
these
wouldn't
things-
expect most people to do that.
no,
Like if
we
they're
wouldn't.
participating in combat sports, we wouldn't expect them to beat the shit out of them like on the mat, right?
But I would view sex as the same thing, where there's, in my opinion, a virtuous way to conduct yourself within the sexual realm, and there's a vice-filled way to conduct yourself in the sexual realm.
Sure. But then I guess in a way, I guess we've kind of looped back around to if somebody who beats it to lolly shit, are they just boxing in the ring and they're not going to beat the person up on the ground, which the equivalent would be, I guess, messing with a kid? Or do we expect them to make the transition over to that? I don't know.
Well, and so actually, even following your analogy, there's this really funny clip of it was like a sportscaster guy who was trying to show how badass he was, and he was like punching the pads, but the guy kept like bringing the pads down by his knees, so it looked like he was punching a toddler. So if we were analogizing this back to Lolicon, if we saw somebody sparring in order to punch children in the face, wouldn't we be like, that's fucked up? You should stop preparing to fight children by punching them in the face. And if the person was like, no, it's fun, let me go ahead and spar so I can pretend to punch children in the face, we'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you getting ready to fight toddlers? What's your fucking problem?
I feel like this is a thing that needs to exist more, actually.
Punching toddlers?
Well, because I feel like a lot of parents, I'm going to be honest, when I see...
From an analogy standpoint,
I'm going...
preparing to punch toddlers
I'm going
in
on
the
a bit of a
face?
tangent here, but I honestly feel like when I see a lot of parents punishing their children,
Yeah.
I feel like the parents are not punishing
They're
them.
ill-equipped.
No, they're just like taking out their frustration on their kids. I feel like a lot of parents, I see them scream at their kids or hit their kids. It's not like a teaching moment. They're just like mad as fuck. And I wonder, maybe if they had child-sized punching bags, before you discipline your kid, go to the other room and just beat the shit out of your
Okay, but
child's
this is
punching
like,
bag.
but now this is no longer an analogy. This is like the literal side of violence. Yeah, no, I think that actually no longer an analogy talking about the violence thing. Yes, I think that parents and adults in general need violent outlets so they can get their violence out in a healthy way. But if they were like, oh yeah, the way that I'm going to get my violent outlet out is I'm going to play like a mass shooting simulator, then I'd be like, oh, you're a fucking freak. Like imagine, as a matter of fact, Call of Duty, right? There was the no Russian level where you go into the airport and you just like mow down a bunch of civilians. And like the whole point of it from the artistic point of view was like, oh, isn't this so fucked up? This is a terrorist attack. This is a mass shooting. Isn't massacring civilians so fucked up? If I had a friend who was like, no, this is actually awesome, and I'm going to play this level over and over and over again, then of course I'm going to call them out.
If you had like a shooting training exercise where you were just supposed to be killing a ton of aliens, but you just shot like the civilians, like a little girl holding quantum textbooks, you know,
Well,
trying to make
I'm a
excuses out of it.
Warhammer 40K player, so this is actually this is getting uncomfortable now.
Wait, why do you do that?
No, but the lore for the Imperium is that there is a genocidal faction and they will wipe out men, women, and children of rival species.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, dude.
Okay. Okay, so summarizing, I don't care about the thing in and of itself. I think if the thing manifests as more things or if other stuff comes from it, I think that would be deeply concerning, and I'd probably heavily, at least socially, discourage it, if not more. Yeah. But that's basically where I'm at, yeah.
Okay, then summarizing my perspective, I'm worried that you, and by the way, like Queeman acts like, oh, Connor's hanging out with Steven. He's still talking to Steven, you know, but he holds this contradictory view in reference to this topic. Queeman espouses the same view. I've heard him say like plenty of times, it's just drawings, ninja, and he'll use the N word, obviously.
Jesus, the
Sometimes.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's awesome. But anyways, the point,
Okay, yeah.
the point is that like, number one, on an individual level, I don't think you should entertain that. Number two, I don't think you should entertain it with your friends. Number three, if you bump into friends who are entertaining that part of their brain, you should push them away for it. Number four, I think that if it hits a certain level of disgusting, it should be prohibited eventually. And I think that for me, I could articulate lines of prohibition that I would follow through with if I was allowed to.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay, so that's that conversation, and I feel like we dealt with that head on, even if it's uncomfortable. So putting that to the side of, in my opinion, you're too permissive, but I have a different opinion on it. The next thing is using food shops as a weapon to fight J-Stock in Queeman. So I think that this is a silly use of your time, energy, and talent that the conflict doesn't necessarily call for. And that yeah, I would never use like a flawed tool to attack my enemies.
So I guess my issue is over the past year and a half, there's been obviously, I mean, you've seen it because you're a part of it, or you get impacted by it. Is there's like a highly coordinated network of degenerate, creepy losers / pedophiles / insurance company owners, like Doobie, Queeman, Justical, and all these other people who are.
I didn't say that, Doobie. He said that. He said that.
Who are like constantly like working. I used to call it in reference to a woman whose name will never be besmirched here again, Kelly Jean. I used to use this phrase, reputation workshopping, where they would go into Discords and they would constantly just like do that, like work on people's reputations and make sure everybody like feels the same way about things.
To damage or to reinforce?
Both. It can be to reward what they see as loyal or good behavior, or it can be to damage or attack what they see as people, outgroup people, basically.
Why should we care about their opinions at all?
So in the past, you wouldn't care about their opinions because you just don't give them
decent drama content. But I'm saying, like, yeah, you're answering the question. But
yeah, you wouldn't. You just ignore them until they kind of extinguish themselves,
or get bored and move on to a new target.
Yeah, I think the reason why they get bored is because typically people like that. So like for Kiwi Farms, for instance, like so my main obsessive guy is Blav, right? He's the guy, my alter ego who loves me.
Blav with a B.
Yeah, and if I ever reference him in any way, he's always somehow it's like a victory, or he thinks it's like, oh my god, I live in this guy's head. But so this is like a person who, if I reference them, that's the only thing that they have to live for, and they get that, right? But the issue now, I don't know why this happens. Maybe it does in right-leaning spaces. I don't think. But for some reason on the left, maybe it's not even the left. It's just for some reason the network of leftist, socialist, commie content creators started to funnel a lot of this weird, snarky stuff, and it's propagated up to the highest levels of content, such that guy Blav, who only used to get attention from, if I would give him attention, it's the only attention he's getting like 2 years ago. Now Hassan is reading his posts about me on his stream.
Isn't that because he's using, but Hassan is using Blav as a weapon against you?
Correct.
Okay.
So that means that now it's not just up to the person to ignore the anti-fan to extinguish anything. Now everybody on that anti-fan side will go to these places to get ammunition and then use it against you. Now, even at that level, I don't give a fuck because it is what it is. But the thing that August tuned me into this a while ago, the thing that I have to consider is that my fans, they see those attacks everywhere. And if I don't respond or say anything or give any kind of like messaging or anything, then it's basically just like, oh, well, is that true? Is like, because Desi hasn't addressed this or what's going on here. So, but I don't want to address it head on because I don't want my stream, like I said, I haven't had an interest in this content for years. I don't want my whole stream to be like, well, here's what Jessica and all these people said about me today. So we're going to talk about blah, 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 right? So then if I like talk to somebody like food shops, or if I pop in every now and then, or if I just like chat with this person, then this is a person who can like talk, and then other people like kind of orbit them and like chat. And at least like in the Discords and everything, when you've got the fucking weirdo creep fucks like Doobie and all these other guys running around and trying to like talk shit and say weird shit, now they're at least people who understand, oh, well, this is what's true, this is what we can argue about or fight with. Yeah.
The right wing, I just want to clarify something that I think that I've observed, though, is with the right wing, there are their version of snarkers, in my opinion.
Yeah, but everybody hates, like Milo. Everybody hates Milo.
Or Kino Casino, as an example.
I wouldn't even consider them right wing, are they? These are just like crazy people. I don't think they're like political.
I feel like they hang out with right wingers, right? Didn't Worski used to hang out with?
Yeah, but
Ralph
even
and all
I don't know
them?
if I would consider those guys right. Even worse, I don't know if I would consider them right wing.
What
or
about Ethan
Tonka
Ralph? You wouldn't experience?
I don't think so. They're
Are
not
they
like
apolitical?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So if I understood them to be right wing, I think it's just because I've heard them use the N word, the F slur, et cetera, et cetera. But what I would say is that like those snarker communities, or those critic communities, or those A-log communities, or whatever, they seem to just like make content and then like move on. You know what I'm saying? Where they'll cover the drama of the day and then they'll move on.
Sure.
Whereas I don't think that I've seen them get wrapped up with a single character that they wanted to meme to death.
Yeah, but there's two things going on there. One, if you're getting referenced by those types of people, you just wouldn't respond to them. So they wouldn't respond to you, and then it would just move on. But two, those guys aren't getting amplified by anybody. Like imagine if the Kino Casino did a show and then Charlie Kirk was like quote tweeting it.
Yes.
Those guys would hit that topic way more because now they know that they're getting a huge stream of rewards for it. So now like
I don't think there's an amplification on the right now.
no, I don't think they're well. They just don't do that kind of content for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Well, this is also only ever done to like enforce. This isn't like even though it's like a certain political group-ish that's doing it, it's all like social behavior. It's not really political. Like just to go 180 on every political position if it means opposing me. Like he was defending Taylor Lorenz yesterday, and he's defending Taylor Lorenz today. That's crazy. But it's just because it's to like attack me, you know. So I don't know if I would even strictly call it political. It just happened to manifest in all these like left-leaning political spaces.
Well, okay, so just to we already articulated the lolly perspective differences between our perspectives. Then we also articulated like I would never use food shops. The part of the reason why though, what I'm afraid of, and this is what I articulated to Chud, is that I feel like by normalizing her, by rating her, by granting her some level of success within the
Let's just
space,
say like me chatting with food shops, because using it's not like I've got this.
Sure, but you showed up on chat, you know, rated her, and by the way, this is the only compliment that I will give food shops is she got rated or whatever, and I think she was at like 700 or 800. She maintained her number because she was talking shit about JStock, she was talking shit about Kleeman, and then as a result, the drama content was good enough that she didn't drop like a rock.
Sure.
She kept those people. But my problem or my fear is that, she did it as a joke, and I understand it's a joke. But the tweet was like, oh, now that I have some level of viewership, I'm going to start trying to normalize my ideas in reference to, Lolicon or whatever. And so for me, I think that there's probably a few lost souls in there.
There might be.
Who are going to hear your permissive attitude, and they're going to hear her apologia, and they're going to hear Queeman's apologia, and then they're just going to be like, yeah.
I don't care anywhere near enough about the lolly issue to give a fuck about that. I think if I had a stronger position on it, like if I found out that they were like fucking kids or whatever, then I would be like, okay, this is probably not a person I want to be associated with, but I just don't care enough about that issue. Yeah. And it's not like there's any other, if there are other people, I guess, that I could chat with, then maybe, but that's a rough world. You know,
yeah,
you've experienced it. Wick has experienced it.
They're fucking lost souls, so why would we allow people to fall into that trap?
No, I mean that like it's a rough world in terms of like the weird Discord people. Like those communities are just like very, very, very active. And
they're cannibalistic.
Yeah, I love him to death, but Pisco will be 100% bought into those communities in 6 months. Like guaranteed, he will be.
What, into the hate communities?
Absolutely, 100%. Because Aaron is fully 1 trillion% bought in, and all those people are constantly in Pisco's chat and in his Discords and everything else.
Okay, I have higher faith for Pisco because I'm hoping that his rooting in the legal world and his reading. And by the way, in his content, at least as far as I've seen with the titling that he's done over the past week, he's almost ignored the Ethan Klein versus you drama. He's almost exclusively been talking about like mainstream news events.
Okay, I hope I'm wrong. We'll see.
Well, I hope I'm right, but yeah, like
I hope you're right too.
Well, but then
It's a lot of pressure. There's a
well,
lot.
it is a lot of
stuff.
pressure. It's when you have half a dozen to a dozen people coming in and being like, disavow, you're a fucking piece of shit. He's fucking hanging out with this person. He's hanging out with that person. Yeah, it's a fucking lot of pressure. But I could see why a tactic that some people will use is they're just going to focus on dry politics because they're going to starve the drama frogs in their community. Although, weirdly enough, sorry to bring you up, Hutch, but Hutch, I see Hutch constantly getting attacked, and I don't think he's really done much of the drama at all. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't feel like...
As somebody who follows a lot of the screenshots in the communities, and I think even Justical talked about it on a stream, Hutch made some comment. It was when I was in DC. I listened where he said something like, "Oh, like Destiny can be rehabilitated in 5 years or something." I heard that. I got really annoyed when I heard it. I was like, "5? What the? Do you even know?" Like, it's just that felt so dumb. And then I think I said something on stream. Maybe I said it to you down here, but I think I said something on stream. I was like, "That was just a fucking retarded comment." I don't know, whatever. But then afterwards, I think Hutch on his stream said something like, "Oh, like I wasn't thinking too much when I said that or whatever." When he made that comment, Justical Queeman and then. I don't think Spicy Chat did, but Kiwi Farms tuned into Hutch, and then a lot of them shifted on that because they like, we need a full disavowal from Hutch. Although that's receded a bit because now they're focused on you and lately Wick in order to try to like tell you guys you're never allowed to talk to me. And now Hutch is just fighting like the kind of mainstream lefty political.
I was about to say we that's actually probably a fairly easy transition is the Taylor Lawrence story, but I don't think we're there yet.
Sure.
I hear what you're saying.
Hutch gets a lot of like not mainstream. He gets a lot of actual political fighting. It's not just the like this weird alt community that's like kind of hanging off me. Yeah.
Well, okay.
They focus on for a little bit, but not too much. Yeah.
So if I could though, if I could snap my fucking fingers and I could resolve the Pixie situation, resolve the JStock Sherry situation, resolve the all these situations. If I could resolve all this stuff, I would, and then I would be trying to focus on like I hate to say it, people are gonna make fun of me for it, but that's okay. I'd be trying to focus on like what PV was trying to do, which was effectively taking the energy of Twitch and YouTube politics, carving off 2 to 5% of it for canvassing operations, phone calls, and volunteer organizations. I wanted to do disaster relief, but that's not nobody's really interested in that yet.
Sure.
But the whole point of it is like, at the end of the day, Twitch and YouTube politics is a bunch of fucking nerds who, there's hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in Twitch and YouTube politics. There's hundreds of thousands of people. The canvassing operations were the one thing that seemed to actually be like positive and real as a result of this, besides charities, I guess.
Yeah, I agree.
So that should be the job.
Yeah,
that
I agree. I agree 1 trillion%. Yeah. I mean, that's what I was kind of angled at the end of last year, right? With the studio in New York and interviewing like people and doing all
trying
that,
to do like real shit?
Yeah, that was the angle, yeah.
Okay, but then that's the problem though, is we keep getting wrapped in the sex shit, which is funny. I'm not gonna like. I obviously watch the drama content, but if we keep,
never mind.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you said it was funny. Go ahead. I was gonna make it as you joke. You're good.
But the point is though, there are organizations. So for instance, I don't know if they're gonna want me to bring up their name, but effectively like,
don't do that.
Don't do that.
Probably not.
Probably not. I think they told me to.
Okay.
All right.
What? I don't know what you're gonna say.
I know what I'm gonna say, which is
the Man Boy Association.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, what I was going to say is that there's like, okay, number one, I don't know if PV's doing anything for midterms. Number two, the National Ground Game. And so National Ground Game is I met Z. Cohen Sanchez in D.C., and she's trying to get Democrat donors to back her project. And what she wants to do is she wants to replicate Turning Points USA, but for the Democrats. And so that's what she's trying to do.
Sure.
And so for me, taking Twitch and YouTube politics energy, starting mirror chapters to the Republicans with Democrats, creating cool debate events, and then having Twitch and YouTube political content show up for debate events and canvassing operations, that's the fucking next step.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
I think it's a cool project. That's the reason I did stuff with them before. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
it's like related to the Unfuck America stuff, kind of, right?
Okay. So how Is it even possible though to like divorce Twitch and YouTube politics away from this fucking bullshit and move into the real stuff, or is it just so like?
I would say there's one way to do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess it's easy and convenient for me to say, but like people just have to ignore it. But people are not capable of doing that right now because there's so much pressure from these people, and people feel like they have to have a position on it, or they have to respond to it, or they have to do something. Like I give a lot of props to you, and I give a lot of props to Wick for resisting a lot of it. But it's really hard when you've got like Z's been doxxed on Kiwi Farms. People are spreading all of her shit around. I've seen 3 of my fans get doxxed in the last 2 weeks. People who just like tweet, and people like found their names and then are like posting their jobs and shit. One of the guys emailed me and said he called the cops. So I called
the cops within the past week, and it wasn't even that I got like specific threats or whatever, but I called my local law enforcement and I just said, hey, everybody's like, we're effectively in a doxing war right now.
Yeah, but there's a reason why these people don't harass me anymore, and it's because I don't care and I don't give them attention. But if they find that they have some success in other outlets, as soon as they see any success there, that's what they lean into. But like, notice right now, you'll never see somebody approach, like nobody talks about Trump's cases, his rape shit,
Yeah,
whatever. Nobody talks about
it.
like the Tates to any of these conservative guys because they know what. Because why? Well, I mean, like, even listen.
I do, but it's water off a duck's
exactly.
ass.
Yeah, because they don't give a fuck about it. They don't care, right?
Yeah,
so
like
as
Benny
soon as
Johnson interviewing the fucking Tates was insane.
Yeah. So I think that like we should have our own like moral standards or whatever, but like those are things that you hold yourself to account to, and then other people who you care about who are near you like hold you to account to these, but you don't let enemies try to like weaponize these against you, which is what happens, and it works so well because so many people get so caught up in it. Yeah.
My question though, because obviously I'm feeling pressure from a variety of sources, and by the way, I don't give a fuck. Like to some degree, I obviously care. Like I talk to these people in DMs or in replies, and it's not nice when people call you bad names on the internet. However, ultimately, I still have a life outside of this shit.
Sure. Not to trivialize it, though. It's not just that. It's like spam calls to people's jobs and
a lot of other people have experienced worse shit than me.
Yeah.
But the point is though, how do you know that? Because when you're so, for instance, like Benny Johnson or whatever, or you've talked to him, the Hodge twins. So the Hodge twins talked to Andrew Tate, in my opinion, and Benny Johnson talked to Andrew Tate. Number one, because they knew that they would get the clout, influence, money, etc., but also because they knew that they would fucking trigger the libs. And so principles didn't matter ultimately because they were going to stick by their team, not because it was good to stick by their team, but because they knew that they would get some kind of like pragmatic result out of it. So I guess my question is, how do you balance calling out moral failures of people and also allowing like descriptive reality to exist, along with not allowing political projects to die because you're getting sucked into the
I think it's
drama
a trivially
bullshit.
easy thing to do. I don't even think it's a real
Like what?
question.
Trivially easy? How?
Trivially easy. You
How?
tell somebody like, oh, I think, hey, if
I do what?
You just tell somebody. If you think somebody fucked up, you say, hey, I think you fucked up. Like, change this behavior. Don't do it again. Like, I think it's the easiest thing in the world to do.
Okay, but what if we disagree on something? So, for instance, like
we can have disagreements. If there is a disagreement where like the moral disagreement is so huge, that you like, I don't think I can be a part of this. Then you separate. But like, I mean, every movement is going to have people who have like fundamental moral disagreements. That happens. But there are going to be some things that you draw the line around where it's like, this is too much. Like, I can't, like, this person might be pro-choice and this person might be pro-life. Generally speaking, depending on these people can probably work together. But if a guy was like pro-murder or this guy was like pro, like there are some things where it's like, this is like a bridge too far. I can't on that. Yeah.
But I'll tell you, just, face to face, that line for me is almost hit by food shops. And the reason why is because like, so I get it. Like pragmatic reasons you're using, I keep saying this, you're not saying this, I'm saying this. You're using it as a weapon against Jay Stock and Queeman because let's face it, she can A-log them pretty well. So you're using her as a weapon against these drama farmers. But then for me, I'm worried that actually, unironically, that tweet that she put out as a joke, which I understand to be a joke, is that she'll get 500 viewers, 1,000 viewers, whatever. And then she'll normalize that viewership within her community. And there'll be half a dozen to a few dozen souls who will just fall into what I view as like a spiritual trap, which is being a fucking lolicon gooner. I think that's unironically a spiritual trap. I think it's hell.
Gotcha.
So I don't want people to go into hell.
Okay.
So
That's
how
like
do we
a
stop
thing.
that?
I don't know. Argue against it. I just don't have that huge of a position on it that I cared as much about it. Okay. But I mean, if I did, then maybe I would feel stronger about it. I think if it was a larger part of her content, I'm gonna be honest, I've never actually. Actually, I think I did hear her argue about this. I think like a year ago, and that's why I removed it from Discord because I just didn't want to whatever.
2 years ago.
Yeah, but it's like if it was like every day, it was like here's the 30-minute lolly praise preaching segment. I'd be like, okay, well, this is kind of weird. I think this is too much. Then I'd probably like, I think I'm good on that one. But I don't know. Maybe this was is a big part of the content. I've just never seen it before. But
well, I haven't seen it recently, to be honest. I think what ended up happening, or at least been pointed out to me by people, is the fact that 2 years ago, in my opinion, it was a large part of the content.
Okay.
I freaked out and yelled at Chud, and then they're like, "Why aren't you yelling at Steven?" So,
well,
this is that conversation.
But I'm not pro lolly, and I don't support lolly in my community.
I know, but
like, I don't have people posting lolly. That's not in any of my shit. That would always be against the rules everywhere I'm at.
But
right?
it's like the raid, then the watching the drama content, and then building a platform, and then maybe some people fall into her perspective. So it's like a 3 consequence series.
Yeah,
of
nobody,
events.
their side is never following that. I would never kneecap my side by having to have them weaponize all of those principles. And Chad Logic was fucking jorking it to some 15-year-old he was sexting a long time ago anyway.
Hey,
So who the fuck cares?
I have to defend his honor. She was 17 and she lied about her age.
Oh, that mattered for Chud, didn't it? Wasn't there one other big streamer that came out and defended him on that?
Yes.
Oh, who was that?
Truth
Crazy,
be told,
huh?
yeah. Well, okay, it was Xander Hall.
What? No, it was me.
I know.
Oh, fuck you.
It's also
Xander Hall was our base meth defender, our meth king.
I know, but Xander Hall unironically defended Chud during that drama as well.
Sure.
So, no.
To be clear, I didn't defend Chud because I thought he was innocent. I just hate 17-year-olds.
Right. Okay. Anyways. So, okay. So the point is, you're saying that you can call out the bad behavior on your side when it crosses a moral perspective that you can't deal with anymore. That's when you can separate. Then you said that the real point of Twitch, or what should be the real point of Twitch and YouTube politics, should be carving off 2 to 5% of the energy, money, time, and attention and putting it into canvassing events, volunteering, electoral.
Well, you can do more than that. Ideally, I would have liked to funnel all of my online stuff into kind of like political power-oriented stuff. But obviously that got the brakes pumped on it when Little Miss Retard and her friend decided to go ape shit in federal court. So
well, okay, but let's say it's a year from now or 2 years from now, and the distance between you and these issues has expanded. Are you going to revive that dream?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm in the tendril planting phase where I'm reaching out more and building connections again. I just have to see where the vibes are in a couple months or whatever and keep pushing forward. Yeah.
Do you think? Okay, but do you think that most people, like, let's say that Jay Stalker Queeman are like, hey, Steven is doxing me, and they're using a lolicon in order to do it.
Self-defense doxing, to be fair, but go ahead.
Okay. Defensive doxing.
Defensive doxing, yeah.
Okay, so actually,
Counter-doxing.
that's actually probably the next topic we should talk about, because I feel like we've already summarized it, and so at this point I'm kind of moral frogging.
Okay.
So let's move on from the moral frogging. Defensive doxing. The other thing that I'm getting called out for is the fact that I said 2 or 3 years ago, it was in reference to Kevin Castley, who's actually disappeared. As far as I know.
Damn, he get doxxed?
No, but he was like a neoliberal guy. I think he was neoliberal. I think he turned into a Trump sycophant. I forget. But effectively, Kevin Castley, somebody brought it to my attention that Kevin Castley was going out of his way to dox some of his critics. He was like looking up their personal information and sending it to them in DMs. And I was like, okay, this is super fucked up. You're basically threatening harassment / swatting over internet beef. This is very dumb. And basically this should be the line where nobody crosses it. However, excuse me, the accusations from Jay Stock and Queeman is that you're not engaged in defensive doxing. You're throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I've only doxed people that are unhinged and obsessed about me. Okay. I'm pretty sure every person I've done has been one of those people.
Have you done it, or have you gotten gay ops people in DGG or gay ops people in different Discords to do it?
A combination of both. But if somebody passes out to me, I'll post it. I don't give a fuck. Justical, Queeman. I'm looking for Doobie. Careful.
Doobie,
who
I fucking
else?
disavow. What did fucking Doobie do to you?
The unhinged, obsessive, weird fucking workshopping with all these disgusting fucking losers in the background. I think it's gross and weird. I've seen him type unhinged, disgusting, weird shit about me on like all these fucking servers. Fuck, I just had more logs to me sent today about it.
What if he thinks you're genuinely evil, though? What if J Stock, Queeman, and because this is an argument that I've heard them bring up or whatever, they're like, oh, Steven thinks that there's this conspiracy to take him out, but the conspiracy is the fact that we don't like him and we think he's a bad guy and he sucks and he should go down. That's the
if you want to
motivation
have
for the
that, if you want to have that like opinion of me, I think that's fine. But when it gets to the point where you're obsessively facilitating conversations about like my dating partners or whatever, everybody associated with that, like fuck all those people. Or when you start like obsessively talking about like my kid, or when you start obsessively like when you're like reading out like my fucking revenge porn or making fun of like stuff related like leaked on that, then nah, fuck all these people. I don't give a fuck.
There's two things that Steven actually did show me that I actually found kind of disturbing today. Number one, somebody who used to be an orbiter reading out Steven's specific address.
Wait, I showed you this today, or?
I think you did.
Lauren De Laguna.
Yeah, was
Jesus
saying
Christ, yeah.
specifically
On a show, just says it, yeah.
on a show,
Yeah.
saying the exact address, which like for me, it's like, okay, you want him to get harassed, stabbed, shot, murdered, whatever. So that's bananas. And then number two was the spreadsheet, which is basically
Oh Jesus, yeah, don't even, yeah. But yeah, it's just creepy and weird. It's
trying to
stalkery.
document all of your friends, all of your
Like the age of every girl I've ever known. And yeah, it's fucking weird and creepy.
And so for me,
And these guys, like, on all these other people, like, play into it. Like, I don't do the, I joked about, like, the being Dexter or whatever earlier, like, murdering people.
Bay Harbor
but I would never
Butcher.
do that, yeah. Never murder people. Not yet. But there's, like, a game that works when you're being, you ever watch Men in Black 3?
no, but we've talked about it.
There's a game that works where you can be kind of cutesy. Like Gisticle and Queeman are very good at being like Twinkie cutesy, where they're like, oh, show me in my community where somebody posted the docs or whatever. And that works for like normies, but I'm not retarded. Like I'm not gonna sit here and play that game. So if I have information about you, if I can get your accounts banned, reported, docs, whatever, I'll do that all day, 100%.
Okay.
There's a reason, by the way, why Gisticle had to clean his Discord chat and why so many of their accounts keep getting banned, by the way. But yeah.
As an example, though, somebody else, not you, showed me evidence that a known Kiwi farmer personality was in Spicy Chat, known to be in Spicy Chat. One of the profiles got banned, and they had an alt with the same PFP but a different name. And there were like DMs or logs or whatever, where basically they were like, "Oh yeah, that's me, lol," and then they kept operating within Spicy Chat under the same name.
Wait, have you told me this?
No, somebody else did.
Do I know this person?
Yeah. So I could show it to you later.
Oh, jeez.
But the
I know
whole-
there are a lot of people. I know that there's at least two people who have a heavy presence on Kiwi Farms and in Justicle's community, and I know they know. They'll deny it if I say it, but yeah. But so yeah, they absolutely,
But-
and everybody knows. Like this is like a thing again where like
Well, and to be clear, my evidence is 2 years old.
sure, but I'm saying like this is a thing where like you can kind of like be cutesy if you're talking to other people, but like everybody knows. It's like open secrets, yeah.
Well, and then so here's the line, because I'm trying to put this together, and bear in mind, like what is it, like don't touch the poo is the
that used to be
old
the thing for
rule.
Kiwi Farms. My thread is very special. They take an active part in trying to be involved in my life. Yeah.
Yeah, so the old rule is, don't touch the poo, don't harass people, don't dox them, don't swat them, et cetera, et cetera. That was the old rule. So for me, I'm still trying to play by don't touch the poo, because I don't want to know who these people are. And
Sure.
I barely want them to know me. But the point though is, so we have, let's say that we have Kiwi Farms, and the way that people talk about it is that it's a place where they effectively A-log somebody's information, but then it does get weird where, for instance, revenge porn is posted, maintained until it's asked to be talked down or brought down. Addresses are posted, they're left up until they're brought down.
No, they're just left up.
Okay, phone numbers are posted, left up.
There's a popular leftist account, I think, that posted some audio of me sucking some dude off yesterday on his Twitter account. Nobody gives a fuck. Yeah. It's all memes. Yeah.
So, sorry, I blinked just to...
Yeah. It's all good times. Yeah.
So anyway, so they leave that stuff up. And then the thing is, like, they're like, oh, well, we don't dox, we don't harass. But realistically, if you wanted to harass somebody, if you wanted to swat somebody, that's where you would find it.
100%. Yeah.
Right. So then, but that's not illegal to have that information up.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Then you have Discords, which probably do have stricter, I don't know what the terms of service are, but they probably do have stricter terms
Yeah. You
of
can't
service.
dox. I think you'll get banned for that. Yeah.
Okay. So they have stricter things. And so what'll happen is, at least as far as I understand, is the Discords are places where people like chat shit, talk shit about internet personalities, talk about anime. That was actually one of the funny things, is one of the times that I was checking in on a Discord that was talking shit about me and talking shit about you. They got distracted by anime, and they talked about anime for like 24 hours. And then they went back to talking shit. But anyways, the point is that, like, there's no illicit thing within this frame. There's no evidence of harassment or stalking or swatting within this frame. but it's kind of, I don't know, like I want to say inculcating, but I think there's a better word, incubating.
Kind of, yeah. It'll be a thing where, like, if you were to post something on KF, they'll talk about it almost immediately in the
Discord.
Yes, correct, yes. And so they all know where they're going, and then they're talking inside Discords and like group chats about it. Yeah, 100%.
So for you, there's like the whatever thin wall between these communities might as well not exist.
Yeah, it's not there, yeah.
Okay.
It's actually funny because people accuse me of doing it, but for me, it was the exact opposite. And I would be happy people did what I did. People say, some people try to run with this cute thing. I only know about Kiwi Farms because Destiny told us to go there to harass Anna. Have you ever heard this claim before?
Of course.
Yeah, Justigal and the other cockmonglers all bring this up, where they're saying that, like, I drove people to Kiwi Farms. My announcement, and you can go find the clip, or you should ask them for it. They never play it. But, like, what I told people, because there was a lot of stuff that was being posted in Kiwi Farms, and then my chat was viewing it a lot, and then they would start talking about it in my chat. And what I said in my chat was, hey, if you want to talk about like weird shit related to fucking Anna, go to KF and talk about it. Don't do it in my community. I don't want to see that here ever, period. And people, Justigal and them, will morph that into like, oh, look, he was sending people to Kiwi Farms. But I wasn't. I wanted it out of my community. And the fact that it was, and I know because I'm not an idiot and I'm honest about how the communities work, if it's on Kiwi Farms and then it starts getting spoken about in my chat immediately, there's always going to be an interplay there because they know, like if I type in my chat, I know that Kiwi Farms is watching and that happens back and forth. Yeah.
The rebuttal is that you're playing 5D chess though. With that,
I don't have the only time I'm playing 5D chess or I'm like an enigmatic, complicated figure, or it's just because people just don't believe what I'm saying at face value, and it's like I think it's pretty obvious. Like, why would I? Like, what would even be the 5D chess?
The 5D chess thing.
Like, I'm telling you flat. Like, there are people I will dox if I have the opportunity to. Doobie shit is getting posted if I get my hands on it, 100%. But I'm not like I don't have to sit here and like I don't need to 5D chess that.
What's the hold up?
But for Anna, like I legitimately,
what is Doobie's sin?
Being in cahoots with all these fucking weirdo A-loggers that are obsessively talking about me to every other fucking person, and doing this weird pressure game in the background for every single person. When he was in fucking Wix chat, ass pain because he got blown the fuck out by Baby Peach in a fucking debate, where they're playing all these fucking weirdo pressure games. It's just weird. Anybody that's part of like those communities, in my mind, it's all Hamas to me.
Jesus. So the pressure games, doxing, they're okay. Well, and then I was going to bring this up to you as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think I brought it up to you earlier today. So I, unironically, like I said, I'm not a religious literalist, but I do believe in like religious precepts. And one of the religious precepts effectively is like, turning the other cheek, or the mercy, sin, forgiveness pipeline, where it's effectively like guilt. It's like sin, guilt, asking for mercy, atonement, forgiveness. And that cycle, for the unfamiliar, is like, at least within Christianity, if you commit a sin and you feel guilty, they correlate. Then you kind of seek mercy from the people that you wronged. You try to atone, which means try to create some justice in the world. And then even if those people can't forgive you, ultimately God is supposed to forgive you if you're serious with your atonement.
Okay.
So that whole cycle, along with turning the other cheek, is supposed to make a more peaceable world.
Maybe. There's two huge assumptions, though. One is that there's some afterlife where I get to reap the rewards of that, and two is that I can infinitely tank whatever because I've God on my side. So as an atheist, neither of those things are very compelling to me. I don't know if the arc of history inevitably bends towards some positive direction, so I don't know if there's some moral goodness in allowing other people to infinitely slander you with no response.
What about reciprocity?
I fully believe in reciprocity. Earlier, I think when we were upstairs, you mentioned something about the doxing thing, and you, like 2 years ago, you said that this was like a line and it was horrible. I agree, 100%. I think it's horrible. I don't think anybody should be doing it. I'm not going to stop, though, if they're not going to stop. Because I hope that they do feel uncomfortable. I hope that they don't enjoy it. I hope that it really does worry some of them, because I've had to live with that for years. Like I said, I got swatted when my fucking son was here, right? I'm outside with multiple AR-15s pointed at me, having to explain that my son is inside my apartment with a whole bunch of guns, but he doesn't know how to use them, and he's too scared to come out. This is a very, I don't know if that footage can be FOIA'd. These are very stressful situations. So when somebody tells me like, well, isn't doxing them too far? I think it is too far, but I've been way over that line. So at this point, yeah. So if I saw them taking a stronger stance against it, where I was like, okay, like I can see, like people have pressured or said things in the background, like, oh, like, do you think we should dox like fucking like these guys or whatever? I'm like, no, they're not even part of this shit. Like, I don't care about like this stuff or whatever. But when it comes to like the weird spicy chat, Gistical Queeman, Kiwi Farms, that pipeline, and then how that connects up to like Bad Empanat and Hassan. These are terrorists. These people are unhinged and deranged. Like, I have no consideration. They're crazy.
Okay, so you said something that was, honestly, I was rewatching the Keffels drama because it's some of Chud Logic's best work.
Yeah.
And in the Keffels drama, she talked about how Ontario, I think it was Ontario, and maybe it was somebody else. Anyways, police showed up to her house. They had rifles and pistols and stuff. They were outside of the door. They asked her to come out, but they did like the call out order where they came out. And what you described to me was kind of parallel, where you were saying like you had a swatting incident where several armed law enforcement officers, not with pistols, but with rifles, actually showed up to your front door.
Yeah. And it's weird too. I think I was probably more stressed than Nathan because I don't like, obviously, if you spend any time at the range, which you have, having somebody point a gun at you is very weird. That's a very not good
fucking
feeling.
Terrifying, yeah.
Yeah. And then also when you have the multiple cops shouting, I see that is it Ben Shaver?
There's one of those, yeah, for sure. I think it's Daniel. But
oh,
yeah.
Daniel Shaver, yeah. And I'm like, I'm going to die in the most retarded fucking way possible because these fucking morons are all shouting different things at me. Yeah.
You're going to do, like, fucking...
Simon says execution in the hallway.
The fucking
yeah.
Vosh clip. And that's horrible. Sorry, the only reason why I'm laughing is because I've been in a situation where I had a firearm... there's a firearm in an irresponsible party's hand, and they were not friendly to me. And so, yeah, that's fucking terrifying because you basically know within a second or two, you're going to get your life snatched out of your body. So it's mad uncomfortable.
On camera, too.
Yeah.
The worst part isn't, like, the dying sucks. The worst part is knowing that these fucking losers are going to be, like, celebrating and clapping about it on their streams afterwards.
They would have.
If I get killed by the cops before Jessica gets killed by Cherry, that would just be an epic fucking fail on my part. So.
All right. We used to all be friends. Okay. So their contention is that this is a one-way street. They're not participating in these behaviors. You're saying bullshit.
Of course.
Do you
think that's bullshit, or do you think I'm crazy?
I have no fucking idea.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that because I'm not saying that to be cute or play both sides or whatever. The reason why I'm saying that is because I am very stupid in one regard. When people say things to me, I believe that what they're saying is what they're thinking, and it correlates with their perception of reality.
Gotcha.
And I've had that problem the entire time. And so when people lie to me, oftentimes the only way that I find out that somebody is lying is if like it's 100% proven the opposite of true. And I would say that I have talked to Queeman or whatever. I sent him some information that I felt was relevant to the situation. And he seemed to be like, I don't know, entertaining the ideas, I suppose. But
Queeman?
Yeah.
What do you mean by entertaining the ideas? He's part of it. He's actively part of it. What do you mean by entertaining the ideas?
Well, right. But that's the effectively entertaining the ideas that there might be evidence between the correlates between Kiwi Farms harassers and the Discords.
Okay.
So he was saying like, okay, yeah, this is a possibility. However, I need to do research for X, Y, Z, ABC.
Okay, so he's just lying. He's just saying shit to placate you.
You're saying he's fucking lying.
Yeah,
until...
he knows 100% what's going on. Yeah, he's a huge part of it, but that's okay. All right.
Well, I'm sure I'll get another DM where he's like, no, I'm not fucking lying. Destiny's the one that's lying. He's a fucking piece of shit. He should kill himself.
Based.
Right. All right. So
here's like this is like an example. If you really want later, I could find. I don't really like to show it on stream. So this was said, I think about it. A day after, like a third fan of mine had been, they're just doxing random fans of mine on Kiwi Farms.
Didn't they get, I'm not saying it's related, but Tectone got doxed like 2 weeks after.
No, that's not related. I don't know about that. Don't care about that. Okay. But actually, maybe, but I didn't see it on Kiwi. I can't remember what it was.
Chronologically, I found it.
Sure. So they're literally doxing like random fucking people on Kiwi Farms who are my fans, right? This is I don't know if this is Quayman or Diorio. I'm mixing these guys up a lot now. But this is no, wait, just stay over there. You just listen, okay?
Okay.
This is just watching one of these fat guys watch my stream, and then I think he sees somebody on Twitter. Just listen to the. Hold on.
Oh, they put it all in the thing. It's like the guy's a rage cow. He's lashing out. He's doing any damage he possibly can.
Oh, this guy's talking to me.
Incorrect.
That's Diorio.
If you want to go down with that ship, be my guest, all right? Because if you go, oh, Nick, I used to respect.
Notice how he said that? If you want to go down with that ship, be my guest. That's not true, though. You don't have the ability to go down with that ship because they will hunt you and chase you and try to divide you and whatever, right? They don't give you the opportunity to do that. But yeah, go ahead. Hold on.
It's like, bro, I don't give a fuck who respects me on this at all whatsoever. To me, you're just another name in the chat and you'll be replaced.
He says he doesn't give a fuck. The only reason, by the way, why Willie Mack made that phone call and recorded it and then published a video about it, giving me time to just kidding. But the only reason he did that, by the way, was because Diorio, I'm just saying, it's a really stupid concept to publish a video like that. If you really do believe this, it's really fucking retarded. Yeah. But the only reason Willie Mack published it is because Diorio pressured him to do that, just, you know. And there's Diorio's on stream saying that he's the one who like pushed him really hard to do that. But okay, hold on, listen to the.
How is anybody saying I don't respect you? He's just being like, Destiny's a liar. I don't want to defend this guy at all. This guy fucking sucks. And somebody apparently is saying, Nick, I don't respect you to that.
So he's talking about somebody in chat. It's just a chatter that said this, and then this was just go saying.
Find that person.
Find that person.
That person is not safe to be around children or women. Okay. Find that person. Mark them for the good of society. Okay. They need to be tracked.
Right at the beginning of that.
So he's saying this. That's a meme. And if you were to push him, he'd go like, "Oh, doesn't he just crazy?" But they're like one of the guys that got doxxed on Kiwi Farms. This was basically exactly what they were saying. This guy's not safe to be around women or children, and he works as this job. So we're going to email his employer, and we're going to try to like get him fired from his shit. This is the guy who emailed me who said he called the cops. But and Jessica reads these threads because they all read him and post about him. So he knows what he's doing. But it's always like stuff like that. And there's like dozens of examples of like shit like this.
Deniability
yeah,
shit.
always. It's how they work. Yeah. But this is like the goal. That's how they do it. Yeah. So now if you're in the future, you talk about chilling effect. Oof. Do I really want to say anything bad about these guys? Like, Jesus. Like, what if he calls me out and then I'm the next person that gets doxxed on Kiwi Farms and they post my shit? Yeah.
Would they? So, yeah. I have a totally unproductive, stupid idea in my brain. But at the same time, it's like, it seemed like a year ago, 2 years ago, if we had beef, and this is something that I respected you for, effectively like having open comms even with like really small creators.
Sure.
So if somebody had fucking beef, they could basically come say it to your face. Now, though, it seems like the game is this dox war. And I don't know. Like there's no fucking treaty here.
Well, because
there's no diplomacy. There's no like what how could we get and
we can't
Jay Stock can't come into a room and say, hey Steven, I think you're the biggest piece of shit on the fucking internet and I hope you die one day, and then boom, it's squashed.
No. Because that's not the goal. I don't remember we were talking about at the beginning of this conversation. Unironically, yes, that is the goal. The goal is to one of those two things: either for me to kill myself, for somebody around me to kill themselves, or to destroy my career. Right? The perfect example of
what happens if they don't get it?
Then they'll try to do it to the people around me.
Okay.
Look at how they spam reported Kyla's channel. Why do you think it got terminated today?
Well, and that's another thing too, is like, so Kyla deals with like red pill content and stuff that I'm sure that if the other person talking was getting reported could be a terms of service violation, but I don't think Kyla's ever done a terms of service violation herself.
Sure. You know, you can find logs in all the big discords, Gisticles, and Spicy Chat, where people are celebrating that her channel got banned. They're like, yes, we got him.
We got him?
I don't know if we got him.
Okay,
I'd check, but yeah, I'd see like the celebrating. I mean, I get logs from all these channels.
If they said we got him, then I would be snapped.
Terminated as banning YouTube producer. Let's fucking go! Like shit like this. Yeah, I mean, I could ask for more logs from chats, but yeah, they celebrate this and they all do it. Yeah.
Okay.
So go ahead.
No.
Oh, this guy right here. Food Stamps played a clip where the F slur can be heard multiple times. Is that TOS on YouTube? They do, but it'll always be stuff like this where because then
be like, oh, but we didn't report
exactly. But even more, because I gaslight the fuck out of you on this. When you debate like Gisticle and you ask questions about this, he'll tell you is he'll go, oh, really? Show me in our chat where we said report this person. Show me. You'll never find it, and then you auto lose on all the debates, and that's why people get like gaslit on it.
Also appeal to how bad these people are. So, for instance, they could probably do this with me quite simply. If Food Chops was unrepentant about a moral issue on which we disagree, they would be like, oh, well, doesn't she do this? So aren't you happy that she's banned? You know, so they would appeal to my disgust.
Sure, maybe eventually, yeah. Or if you can't defend principally any concept because they'll accuse you of supporting the worst of the accusations.
Yeah, what the fuck happened to, by the way, sorry, this is just like a frustrating thing. What happened to, I have my morals that I live by, and you have your morals that you live by. And if we share a political project or share a project, we can work on the shared vision of the project. But you live by your morals, I live by my morals. What the fuck happened to that? Because I thought I thought that's how adult human beings operate.
You're playing a different game. This is what I've said this to Democrats versus Republicans. You have to understand that you're playing a different game.
What game am I playing and what game are they playing?
You're playing some kind of politics or whatever game, and they're playing like the social pressure game. It's a different thing. They have different goals. It's like if we were to argue over and over again, like what the best car is, and you want to win a race, and I just like the color blue. Sometimes we might agree if they're really fast blue cars, but other times I'm going to choose like the Prius because it's blue and I like it, and you're going to be scratching your head trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. This is what I was saying in the beginning, where like some criticism, you said, how can we hold our own to account without,
without burning the bridges.
Yeah, and I said this very easy. You just tell people, hey, you fucked up, don't fuck up again. Like we'll figure it out. Or if you're going to keep fucking up, we cut ties or whatever. But these people, you can tell that's not the goal of any of this. Right? The goal is not to hold people accountable. The goal is not to like do something righteous or good or virtuous. I said that as much when I was responding to Ethan about Willie. Like if Willie would have told me privately, he's like, hey, the shit you told me made me really uncomfortable. Like I'm like, even if he didn't tell me to be depressed, like I had to call somebody at the FBI, like say some shit. I'd be like, I get it. That's fine. I understand that. But like, there's a difference between that and like, I ain't like, hold on, is OBS recording? Okay. A detective? I didn't like you're playing a totally different game at that point, right? And that's what I'm saying is that, so you're asking like, well, how can we have these conversations? You can't. They're after something fundamentally different. They're not looking for reform or to build like some coalition politically. They just want to have like the social games.
Well, I think the answer, I think I have to go down with my own ship though. I think I'm, Queeman was kind of laughing about this. He's like, and I'll use a direct quote. He was like, oh, Connor was our inside guy with the PV drama. He kept telling us things that we shouldn't know. And I was thinking to myself, like, during that, it's like, no, I was telling you the truth. Like, I wasn't, yeah, I have a side and I care about my side. But insofar as I can possibly tell the truth, if you ask me a question, I'm going to tell the truth.
Sure.
And
do you know what those guys say about PV now, though?
What?
Like Queeman and Justico.
Well, isn't it like the Dark Money preview to the Taylor Lorenz
Yeah, I heard Justico literally comparing the chorus, Tenet Media, and to like
sure
Progressive Victory. Yeah. So like these are not people who have.
Well, and can somebody like so I had this conversation with Beckett a while ago, and I had this conversation with Beckett last night, not specifically about PV, but I had a conversation with him. And his point with the PV thing was, if it's not disclosed, then you don't understand people's biases. And so they can be acting like they're acting from like an integrated, principled position, but they're biased by money, which is why you should disclose where your money comes from. Okay.
Okay, try it out.
Hello? How are you now? Can DGG hear me? Yes or no? I see some angels. Okay. I do have a literal train to catch. So
Good one.
So I probably got like another 20 minutes.
You're good. Okay, go ahead.
So what I was saying was the politics game. I don't know if people caught that, but effectively, like, Queeman said, like, oh, he was our inside man. He was telling us secrets. We weren't supposed to know any of that and all that kind of stuff. But it was like, no, I was just telling you the truth as I understood it. And also, if you have, like, I'm working for an institution, right? But let's say that, and that institution is paying me. But we are aligned on goals as far as what we want to achieve in the world. What's the fucking problem? And I think that this gets to the heart of the Taylor Lorenz drama, where realistically, like, people don't believe me. They genuinely just don't believe me. A Democratic organization named PV reached out to me. They said, hey, you're in the Twitch and YouTube politics scene. We need a Republican to be a part of our organization. We know that you think that Trump is fucking bad and going to be a disaster for this country. Would you want to work together in order to help bring alt media into real world politics?
Oh my God.
Do you want to help? Shut up.
No, you're describing lobbying.
I guess. So
They're just as what you're saying, because of the argument that I make a lot. People have this understanding that lobbying is this nefarious thing where you
like
buy
bribing.
off politics. But in reality, people just support people and provide epistemic resources to people who already agree with them, basically. Like AIPAC is not turning people into Israel supporters. They just find people that they feel like supports Israel and then they throw some money at their campaign.
well, and not just that. I'm sure that they give them like talking points and rhetorical
Epistemic
tools.
resources, yeah. Like, hey, people
epistemic,
are coming at you for like this stuff, but like this is what we would say
You
about
used
this.
a 14-letter word, so but that's
okay.
okay. I do that sometimes. So the point is, like, this cuts to the heart of the Taylor Lorenz drama, where you could argue something about disclosure, you could argue something about transparency or some shit, but what the fuck is the problem with Democrats incubating Democratic or liberal creators to spread a Democratic or liberal message in this political atmosphere? And not just that, half these people who we're talking about in the drama and commentary space, they identify as either liberals or progressives. They identify as being on the left. What the fuck is your problem? Why is this a crabs in a bucket situation?
So there's
where
four.
you're slicing the legs out of your fucking the people who are propagandizing on your behalf.
So we don't have time to go into this right now. We don't. We can in the future, though. Maybe I will in future debates. There's a lot of things going on here that I've realized now, especially over the past few days. One, the whole concept of dark money is actually fucking stupid. There's no such thing as dark money. Unless you literally... No, actually, there's no such thing as dark money.
I mean, Raytheon sending me money in an offshore bank account, I think that's dark money.
But that doesn't even make sense because they would never send you that money unless you knew that they were sending you that money.
I know, I'm fucking around.
Yeah. Well, no, but people actually make that argument, right?
And also, Raytheon, you can send me money.
Yeah. So one, I actually don't even believe in dark money as a concept now. And I think that it's been a weird bastardization of the problems with Citizens United. People keep hyper-fixating on this concept that Citizens United was bad because of like dark money, dark money, dark money. Fuck dark money. Who cares about dark money? The problem is because of the way the 501c4s work and these 527s work. I think 527, 530. The problem is that you can put an unlimited amount of money towards certain issues. And you're not supposed to be for a politician, but they basically are. That's the issue. It wouldn't matter if Jeff Bezos could give $5,000 of dark money, because that's the FEC limit, to some campaign. The issue is when he can spend $50 million without anybody knowing on some issue. That the big issue with super PACs is the unlimited per individual spending. That's the big deal, number one. So, or kind of tied into number one. So this concept of dark money is stupid, in my opinion. No, not in my opinion. It's stupid because the big criticism that Taylor Lorenz has is these guys are taking money from Chorus, and one of their donors is, what is it, the 1630 fund?
Yep.
How the fuck is that dark money? Because they're getting paid by Chorus to do a job, and one of Chorus, or maybe Chorus principal funders, 1630. Where's the dark money? Do I have to know every single person that comes into 1630? Let's say that I wanted to sponsor you. If I don't publicly disclose all of my income sources, is me paying you, is that dark money?
Not if it's on my taxes.
It's fucking retarded. So this whole dark money concept is stupid as fuck.
The impropriety or the opaque nature of the allegations is the fact that allegedly, which by the way, I haven't seen like within the contract where it says this, but they said allegedly that there's 4 funders who provided 70% of the funding of the 1630 whatever thing.
Yeah.
And they were saying that as Chorus creators, don't mention Chorus unless you mention us in this specific regard and do not talk about our funders. Now, that's all. For me, that's fucking hearsay.
I would be careful, because Taylor Lorenz lies at least 10 plus times in that article.
But like, so people keep sending me the clip of the article that says that, but they don't say, we have a copy of a Skype call.
Well, she says she has copies of contracts. She hasn't released any of
we have a
those.
copy of the contract.
Yeah, she has said that.
Well, but then show me in the contract where it's saying that we can't talk
she
about.
Won't do that because she's lying.
Well, then at that point, I would say fuck her and fuck everybody who's fallen for it.
I would agree.
On top of that, like, dude, I'm sorry for getting fucking pissy about it, but like, we're projected to kill 14 million people over the next 5 years through incompetence by slashing PEPFAR and slashing USAID. And by the way, the projections could be off by 90%, and we would still kill 1.5 million people through incompetence through preventable disease.
Yeah.
That's fucked up by itself.
I agree.
Add another 20 fucking crimes of Trump. Why the fuck do we give a shit about Democrats working with Democrats in order to forward Democrat causes?
Wait, why?
Why?
Why do people care? No. Why do people care?
Okay, give me 5 seconds. I think the leftists and the progressives want to bully the liberals so they can take a larger market share of the Democratic Party.
Yes. So then what you have to understand is none of this is about making Democrats stronger. None of this is about giving good or transparency. Because Taylor Lorenz and all these people accept dark money too. If that's how you define it, 100% she does. Okay, and then because she's accepted money from that Ahmed whatever fucking fund, which funds itself also with a hybrid structure and a 501c4, which is dark money. That's how she considers it dark money because the 1630 fund is the same thing, right? So it's not about any of that bullshit. It's just about destroying. It's just about destroying people who are part of the Democratic Party. It's just when Gisticle criticizes me, Gisticle is not trying to like make me a better person or have me held accountable or whatever. He just wants to destroy me in my career, right?
Oh, you're a better person?
When better than him, yeah. But I mean, like, I'm also like 200 pounds lighter. But like, and then when Trump or when any of the Republicans are criticizing people on the left, right? They're not trying to make them better. When somebody says Gavin Newsom shouldn't be tweeting like that, it's very unbecoming. Do they want him to be a better governor? No, they're asking.
No, they want him to stop tweeting.
Yeah, because he's holding Bermuda to Trump, right? So one of the things you have to be mindful of, I think, is where the criticism comes from, because that'll tell you what it's supposed to do. Taylor Lorenz, in her article, I would argue that the way that she writes is a form of doxing, because when she does articles, and you should go back and reread it or read it if you haven't, she is very big on naming everybody that she can.
Oh yeah, first name, last name, city.
And well, not even maybe city, but she'll name the people and their socials so that you can punish them and hold them accountable for other things. So if you read her article, that chorus article, it was a hit piece, 100%. Every claim was negative. There was nothing positive about it. Basically, every major claim was either incorrect or was just inconsequential. It was just stupid, right? But and there were at least 5 huge contradictions in the article. I went there to run it down. But also, her prescription at the end wasn't, we just think it would be good, of course, publish the contracts, or we think it would be good for more. They said that at the end, they quoted that V. Safar, or whatever fucking retard, who said, I think that it would just be better to donate to creators directly. What a retardedly stupid fucking statement. What the fuck does that mean? And then I
agree. You should super chat.
And then also going back to the third point I was going to say, I had 1, 2, 3. The third one was, because it was like this dark money shit. I don't even think it's real. Doesn't matter, whatever. Was why do people pretend like being funded by an organization makes you more dependent on them, or it makes you more susceptible to some kind of marketing ploy than audience capture? Because I would argue to some extent, independent funding, I think even you maybe realize this, independent funding can keep you more independent than audience capture. Audience capture can keep you incredibly locked in on certain topics or certain political opinions.
I see, and by the way, like some people disagree with me or whatever, but I think that you can only, there's half a dozen creators who are like Trump apologists. I think that if you look at their principles from 10 years ago, the only way that you can arrive at who they are now is through audience capture.
100%. You and I have one mutual friend.
Which one?
Who had that issue of locked in audience capture stuff. I don't think they do content anymore. I think they just released a book.
Who the fuck are we talking about?
Not De Laguna.
Wait. Is it De Laguna? Who the fuck are you talking about? Oh!
Jesus Christ. But yeah, like
my good friend LS.
Yeah, Last Shadow is what I think he used to go by in the StarCraft world.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there are people who you go down a certain road,
a gilded cage,
and it's really hard to course correct at all.
In my opinion, it's a gilded cage.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, you make shitloads of cash. Your cage is beautiful. You know, it's lined with gold. but you're stuck inside it.
Yeah.
And that's where I do feel bad for LS, that
Or anybody,
StarCraft's
yeah.
streamer,
Yeah.
and several other center-right contrarian creators who effectively, in my opinion, they might not even agree with me.
Sure.
But from
and I'm not implying there's a bunch of people who are totally morally bankrupt, selling out, like don't believe it at all. But just that, like, they might take a slightly different direction. They might talk about some things a little bit less or a little bit more.
They would be more spicy and more independent if they knew that they weren't going to lose 10 to 20% of their audience as a result.
Yeah. So this idea, so I would even challenge, and a lot of what I've just said, I'm challenging a lot of truisms. These are just supposed to be things that people take for granted. Like, oh, having a single funder, that's bad. You should donate to creators directly. That's the thing that people they think that's a good thing. That's not necessarily a good thing. And every creator knows that. The whole idea about dark money being bad, is it bad? I don't know if that's true. If somebody comes up to me and they give me a bunch of money, if my political opinions aren't changing or anything, like, I don't know, like, would that matter?
Well, I mean, that was my argument for the PV shit, because at the same time, like, I never said, oh, Kamala's fucking amazing, she's the best thing since sliced bread. I said, she's the clear lesser of two evils within this moral calculus. And if you don't see that, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
So that
I
is
think the
actually
thing,
not contradictory to anything I've said for the past 5 or 10 years.
The thing that I think is important, one is the law is important insofar as FAR should be respected. You can't take, like, foreign money, right?
Sure.
Foreign
And
agent
if you're
registration.
representing those foreign interests, you should disclose.
So I think, like, the laws in place there are really important, number one. And then number two, I think if people have highly sus or questionable position changes, then I think that can be looked into.
They need to be explained.
Yeah.
That's my thing. So for instance, like,
but wait, let's real quick. Like, let's say I found out tomorrow that Hassan was taking $1 million a month from Qatar or whatever. Well, fuck, they have to disclose that. Let's assume it wasn't. You didn't have to. It was legal to do that. Let's say I found that out. I don't know if that would change much of my commentary at all on him, because all of the arguments are so fucking retarded. It's all so stupid. I would still fight basically the same way. I might point out, oh wow, look at you, you're getting a fat pocket for doing this, but he also gets a pretty penny from shilling for the pro pally crowd from his audience, right? So it's like, yeah. So there are a lot of truisms that go along with, like, the dark money thing that I would actually, but this is like nobody's thought about these arguments, and they would be really triggered hearing them the first time. Yeah?
So my where I apply some degree of latitude is explanations. So for instance, like, if you change your perspective, let's say, I don't know, you're a pro-Russian shill one day and then you switch to Ukraine.
Yeah.
But you explain how. You're like, my family grew up in Russia. I bought into some of the Putin propaganda. I read Alexander Dugin. I thought he was brilliant. But then I actually started talking to my Ukrainian family, and they explained, like, everything that they were going through as a result of Russia. And I realized, like, actually, you know what? Ukraine is in the right in this. Then I would be like, oh, okay, who gives a shit? Like, you change your mind, but you change your mind off of articulable evidence.
Yeah.
Whereas if somebody fucking flips on a dime and they have no explanation, then I'm like, oh,
what's going on here?
Either you realize that this is where your audience was and you did not want to alienate your audience, or you're taking cash from someone and there has to be an explanatory value for a massive shift or contradiction in principle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm able to articulate all of mine, which is one of the things where I get frustrated, where people are like, hey, you've changed all your principles. And I'm like, name one.
Yeah. And then it's like, like, okay, fine. Like, are we going to be in this world where, like, I want to see all of your income sources then? How does Taylor Lorenz make all her money?
I don't fucking know.
So why the fuck should they know anything else about anybody else, right? Like, why should anybody know?
That's your rabid capitalist coming out, though.
What do you mean?
Well, where I think that media creators, so for instance, like, if Sagar and Jetty and Crystal Ball, if they were taking shitloads of money from Qatar, I would want to know that, because they have, like, a pretty strong uniparty, Israel bad, slant to their news, while they're still pretending that they're independent. And so if they were taking $100 million from Qatar or $10 million from Qatar, I would want to know if that was a substantive part of their funding, because I would realize that they're catering to that bias.
Yeah, that's possible. Their arguments would still be dog shit because they are what they are. But I'm just saying that, like, but I'm just saying that if we need to know, like, Chorus, like, the fact that these people are funded by Chorus, and it's not enough to know that they're funded by Chorus. We have to know that they're funded by Chorus via the 1630 fund. But it's not enough to know that they're funded by Chorus via the 1630 fund. We have to know who funds the 1630 fund, and then, I guess, who funds the individual. Because, like, again, people are so brainwashed on this dark money thing. You'll reading the Taylor Lorenz article, there's a part where she's like, 4 mega donors gave however much money to this,
70%,
blah, blah,
I
blah, blah,
think.
blah. And they donated mainly to back, it was like anti-abortion, pro-choice, or it was no.
Yeah, what's the fucking problem?
No, but it wasn't that. It was, she said, like, they donated for pro-choice causes. They donated to fight for this on the ballot and over this, and nobody knows what their interests are. And it's like, motherfucker.
Those are the 4 interests.
Those are the
fucking
interests.
fighting
You
for,
just said it. Yeah, what are you talking about? But like, these are like verbatim from the article. It's like, you're literally explaining it in what their interests are. Like, what else? And this is why I'm saying
what
that.
other nefarious thing they're up to.
Yeah, and I'm like, what are we talking about here?
Dude,
This is why I'm saying the concept is so stupid. Because they're like, well, you don't know where that money's coming from. Who the fuck cares? Like, is there, unless the money is like drugged and you like touch it and you're getting hypnotized? Like, what are we talking about here?
No, that's actually so funny because that was the same thing with PV. So they're like, oh, down ballot. They want to get progressive candidates, and I'm like, okay, but that wasn't my project. My project was the fucking canvassing operations for the general election for Trump. So and by the way, Jamal Bowman I think was the only fucking down ballot thing that PV did, and he got his dick kicked in. So, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
so if we're gonna play this game where you have to see the funding for some of these smaller creators, then fine. Then all of you motherfuckers should start posting tax returns. And if people want to normalize that in this world, man, fuck it, I'm fine with that. We can normalize the fuck out of it. But whatever definition you're using for dark money, Taylor Lorenz absolutely qualifies. Taking money from that media, whatever fucking group, that is easily dark money under any definition that she would use. So if we're gonna use the dark money definition, then everybody, and you can see, I haven't gone through all this yet, but like, the Young Turks raised a whole bunch of fucking money. I think the Hill
They had
raised
like
a whole bunch
4
of
or
money
5,
from some external finance group. Glenn Greenwald raised like fucking $7 million. Like, all these people have relied on external funding for a lot of the media organizations. Not me, by the way. But I'm just saying that, like, if people want to do this, then fine. Then let's all post our 1040s. Like, let's do it if that's what you want to do. But all of what I'm saying, right now I'm playing the game by saying that. Not playing the game. The reality is Taylor Lorenz doesn't give a fuck about any of this shit. They just want to destroy it. That's all they want to do.
well, and that's what I was going to say is like the main takeaway that I would want to articulate is that like I too instinctively believe that it's not ultimately about disclosure because if they disclosed it, then they would just move the bar.
Exactly.
In my opinion.
Where's
What
Forrest
it's-
getting funded by?
what
Where's
it's-
1630 getting funded?
what
Who are
it's-
these people? Yeah.
What it's really about is it's about creating the narrative and reinforcing the narrative of the uniparty that's bought and sold. I don't know if I'm saying that properly, but I'm tired. But it's bought and paid for by the donor class who holds back the interests of the left. Hold back the interests of the far left. And so as a result, what they're trying to do is they're trying to demoralize liberals from defending liberals so they can get a bigger
So they can
market
capture the
share.
party and coup the party. That's what they want to do.
I think so.
Yeah, 100%. And they're not part of the party. That's why I don't like you use that term, crabs in a bucket. They're not crabs in a bucket. They're evil people invading the bucket. And it's not a circular firing squad. It's just a firing squad. These are just people who are enemies to the party, and they want to take over the party. They should go make their own. Tell them to fuck off and
But
make their
who's
own.
going to fire back?
We have to, but this is why I'm saying, and again, I love him, okay, I don't know what he feels, maybe, but like for Pisco or whatever, right? Remember one of the groups we argued about before was the Vanguard?
Yeah.
Those guys are standing huge on Taylor Lorenz shit.
Sorry.
I feel like that Taylor Lorenz tip, that's a testing point. If you're a huge Taylor Lorenz supporter on that article, that's great. Go make your own party. Get the fuck out of it. Don't pretend you're a fucking
hold
Democrat.
on. So what's so funny about that though is the Vanguard boys, and I want them to fucking hear this, okay? They're creators. I don't know if they have like 100K subs or something, but they're big fish for who they are and how recently they started creating content. But they're not very big fish when it comes to Twitch and YouTube politics.
They're not big fish anywhere. These guys are dark money recipients who are getting built up by other orgs that they had no part in it initially, just as much as anybody else
I have
is.
no idea where their funding comes from, but the
Mom
point
and dad
is,
mainly, but go ahead.
they were asking. I think it was Wick or somebody. They were like, "Hey, come defend your perspective on like a panel or whatever." And they're like, "Yeah, we'll do it for $8,000 because that's a monthly stipend from a liberal creator." And it's like, go fuck yourself, you pussy. Like, if you can't. If
To be
you
clear,
have
they didn't
all
want to
this
defend
energy,
it. That's just them avoiding the debate, right?
well, that's what I'm saying. But if you have all this energy and hatred for how the liberals are co-opting the party and undermining the true values of the left, then you should be able to fight that pretty passionately in a public forum. And to not fight it in a public forum feels like cowardice.
Kind of. We're playing the game right now. That what you're saying, there's playing the game, right? Because they don't actually feel that way. They just want to destroy the Liberal Party.
I don't. Oh, well, hold on. No. I do think that they do think that criticizing liberals will get them a larger market share of the Democratic Party, and therefore that is to their political end.
Correct, but they're not saying this to make liberals,
Liberals
better.
better.
It's to coup the party. That's the real thing that's
Sure,
happening.
they want to
Yeah.
move people further left.
Yeah.
And I think I don't.
I don't like the term further left. They want to convert them from liberals to socialists. It's not like just along the left. They want to make them illiberal, anti-democratic people.
And by the way, boys, I'm available whenever you want to call.
They'll never take those arguments on, namely because they're fucking retarded, but like also just because there's nothing to be achieved by doing that. What? Well, they're retards. What do you mean? I think that any time, if you want to be the kind of person who has like this aggressive demeanor and talk shit on stream, you won't even like have an argument with somebody. I think that's the ultimate form of fucking pussy. If there were giant dicks floating around outside, they would fuck you because of how much of a pussy you look like when you walk around conducting stuff like that. It's actually so fucking cringe.
All right. Well, it is later, and I do need to literally catch a train. So I think, unfortunately, we have to wrap.
Okay. Do we get to most stuff?
Yeah, we did. So can I summarize for me?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Lollicon's bad. Don't do it. Food Shop should repent and become a better person.
Damn.
Steven shouldn't use her as a weapon, but if he does so, he should do so in a very limited capacity. Steven's in a doxing war. I disavow doxing. It's bad. And then also Taylor Renz and all the lefties are using this ad hit piece as a way to get greater market share in the left wing. That's my summary. Oh, also, CounterPoints 40K, or type in CounterPoints Politics. You'll find my channel where I post my VODs Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. I'm live either there or Valor Media Network, VALOR, Media Common Spelling Network, Common Spelling. I parasocially love you.
Cool. If anybody's bored, and if you've ever used T2 Aimpoint Red Dot, and you know how to adjust the zeroing on that, please, God, help us, because we tried to fuck with it today, and oh my God, I don't know if we're just retarded. Yeah, at some point, I think the things are just like stuck, and they won't turn now.
But the good news is you're a dead shot with a fucking Benelli.
Well, if you use the iron sights.
Yeah, but you're a fucking dead shot. Like fucking 50,
but if it's a
15 yards, you're hitting a fucking slug
Sure.
right in the circle.
Yeah, but it'd be even cool if it worked with the red dot.
It would be cooler if it worked with a red dot. That's absolutely
Yeah.
true. But the
Okay.
good news is if somebody comes into your hallway and they're not a police officer, they're fucked.
Sure. Just dual wield the shotgun and the assault rifle.
Yeah.
It's a cool gun though, right?
It's awesome.
It was a really cool
Oh
gun.
my God. Sorry. Yeah. Like I don't even
I
want
wish
to.
we had like a cooler range where you could just like, because with that shotgun, you can literally like boom, 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 boom. Like
Yeah.
it's like, oh my God, it's such a cool shotgun.
The guy said that around whatever the big lake is. I forget what it is. Okeechobee. North side of Lake Okeechobee, there's supposed to be an awesome range that we could do three gun stuff and blow up Tannerite.
Jesus. Okay.
Yeah. But the Benelli, I think the military designation is the 1014. But
M1014 or something. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But the Benelli M4 shotgun, butter smooth, beautiful action, super fun to shoot. And like I'm a bigger guy, so 12 gauge doesn't mess me up that bad. But like this, I think even like a smaller person could shoot and be very comfortable with, just due to like recoil mitigation and the gas system and all that kind of stuff.
And we were shooting slugs, weren't we?
We were shooting slugs. We were shooting high velocity slugs that the range warned us were going to be tough. And it was fucking butter.
Yeah. So birdshot or buckshot would be way
nothing.
easier.
Nothing.
I feel like from my shotgun experience, it's like if this is like slugs, this is like buckshot and this is birdshot. I feel like slugs are way.
They are.
Yeah.
No, not only are they, but also I feel like the Benelli, out of what I expected for shooting the slug, it was probably 30%, 40% less.
Was it good? I'd say 45%, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I love you. It's been fun.
I love
Good
you
luck on
too.
your trip
Stay
right
out
back.
of trouble,
I-
dumbass.
It's old trouble. What am I supposed to do?
Okay, be a better man. Turn the other cheek. Follow the forgiveness cycle. Study Nicomachean ethics.
As soon as my opponents do.
Okay.
You know what they said?
What?
If they laid down their arms, there would be peace.
Mm-hmm. If you lay down your arms, you'll be slaughtered.
It would be, yeah. That's
Okay,
what- yeah.
you're truly the Israeli. You're the oppressed
Truly.
class of Twitch
Truly.
and YouTube politics.
Okay. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Be careful. Wait, I need to go over there and turn the stream off.
Okay.
Be entertaining.
All right. Hi guys, come check me out. 9:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Right.
What?
30 a.m.
Yeah, bro. I get up early. I'm the early show. I'm the Monday morning show. Yep. Drink your coffee and tea with me.